to Martin and Roman's Weekend Best.
Yeah, it's the middle of the school holiday, so it's definitely time to ignore the kids for an hour and treat yourself to a lazy Saturday morning whilst we just entertain you with a bit of cooking, bit of chatting, and a lot of laughter.
Yeah, our first guest is the multi-talented comedian, writer, actor who describes herself as a bit of a Steve Tyler lookalike, Ellie Taylor.
And he's a man who's climbed mountains, figuratively and literally. Ex-rugby player turned Paralympics presenter, it's Ed Jackson.
And it will be Saturday about heading into the kitchen to cook up a feast for us today. It's resident chef Shivi Ramoutar. Shivi, what are you cooking for us today?
Morning, Martin. You're in for a treat as always. I'm taking you to the streets of Mumbai today with my quick keema lamb pow.
Lovely.
Now, as you know, by now, we like to get the show started with a little music question. So, what was the #1 song on this day back in 2001? Ellie, I'm going to start with you.
What was I doing? I was in sixth form. I'm going to say... Christina Aguilera, Dirty. That was a big tune.
That is really good.
That's a big shout.
Isn't it?
That's a very big shout. OK,
Yeah,
Christina Aguilera, Dirty. Ed, what are you saying?
Oh, do you know what? I'm tempted to go Eminem, but I reckon that era, it's got to be Westlife, basically, #1 for all the time, weren't they? Uptown Girl, just a punt.
That's the first time we've had Westlife, but that's a very good shout.
Both of those are good.
Yeah, and Eminem Stan even. But actually, the answer is, of course...
Oh, here we go. AK.
Oh, yes! Atomic Kitten, with their cover of the Bangles classic Eternal Flame. Little fact for you, before settling on the name Atomic Kitten, the band were previously called Honeyheads. Yeah, they then changed their name in '98 to Automatic Kitten, then thought that was a little bit too long, so just landed on Atomic Kitten. But it does lead me to a nice question. If you were going to form a pop band, what would your name be? Ed, what about you?
You've got to, with a surname like mine, you've got to rip off one of the most famous pop bands, so probably just tweak it a bit. It'd be like the Jackson 6.
Great, yeah, the Jackson 6.
Definitely a lot worse.
Go one better.
Definitely not as good at dancing.
Yeah.
Or singing, but...
And also, on streaming sites, if someone accidentally hits the 6 instead of the 5, they'll just go to you. Perfect, I like that. Ellie, what about yourself?
I think... Well, if we're going to play on names, Taylor Trash.
Taylor Trash.
Oh! Like that. Isn't that a good one? I'm going to call a tour that one day. Or if it's a group of me and my friends, I think it's just the very tired women. That's what we'd
Imagine that on Top of the Pops. It's the very tired women.
We'd just sit on some comfy chairs and go, oh, should we get a fringe cut? That'd be our chat.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Now, Ed, it's so great to have you here because you have got an absolutely incredible story. Now, if you didn't know, former rugby star Ed had a devastating accident that left him unable to walk or move. But after extensive surgery, rehabilitation, and with a mindset like no other, he has managed to defy all the odds, literally climb mountains. Ed, absolutely great to have you here. But first up, let's take me back to 4 years ago when life changed for you. What happened there?
Yeah, well, you know, to set the scene, I was very lucky to get my dream job, I suppose, as a kid growing up. I became a professional rugby player. So I did that for 10 years. Played in the Premiership and the Pro 14 in Wales. But in 2017, I was recovering from a shoulder injury, went round to a family friend's house and ended up basically picking the wrong end of the pool to dive in. There was a waterfall with a water feature, and I thought it was probably 8 feet deep. Turned out to only be 3 feet deep. Back then, I was quite a bit bigger than I am now, so there was a lot of weight to go through the top of my head, and I dislocated the bottom of my neck, and it rendered me completely paralysed from the shoulders down. Luckily, my dad was in the pool and one of my friends, because otherwise I would have drowned, so they managed to pull me to the surface, but then the trip to hospital ended up having to be resuscitated 3 times, so it came close to being, you know... I feel lucky to be walking around now, for sure, but I also feel lucky to be here at all. So, and after 7 days in hospital, I still had no movement or sensation return, so the doctors my prognosis was I wasn't going to walk again, hopefully get the use of my arms back so I could be independent.
Yeah.
But luckily 2 days later my toe wiggled, and since then I've been making slow and steady progress to the point where I still now have a spinal cord injury and you know, movement issues and a lot of the underlying health issues that go along with it. But I'm so much further than I ever thought I would be that yeah, I'm in a good place.
Yeah, listen,
Wow.
it's an amazing thing, the body, how it repairs itself sometimes. It's just shocking, isn't it? But you've written it all down in a book. It's called Lucky. Why now?
Well, I kept a blog throughout hospital. First of all, it was Alexa. Alexa's your best mate when you can't move. So you're telling it to play music, or you're constantly playing Eminem, or talking to her in the evening. In fact, I think my wife, she miraculously disappeared after on one of the transitions between hospitals because I think she thought I was having an affair with her. But I was keeping voice notes as a way of like mentally dumping in the evenings, and obviously as your mates do, one afternoon I woke up after having a nap, and he was going through all my voice notes, and he was like, mate, two things. One, you're weird, because this stuff is strange, but it could really help someone one day. You know, it's just what was going through my head whilst I was going through a life-changing sort of time in my life and spending time in hospital. So I kept it up, kept the blog going, and actually it started helping me as much as helping others, because people would get in contact who'd been through it before, and that sort of peer-to-peer support. That 2 years later, I was approached to turn it into a book. And I said, no, like, who's going to want to read that? You know, it seemed weird and also way out of my comfort zone writing a book. It's not something I'd ever done before. But then after some persuasion and then making me realise that actually this could really help other people and also benefit the charity that I've set up and things like that, I bit the bullet. And luckily I signed the book deal. I say luckily because it wasn't lucky that we got COVID, but we went straight into lockdown 2 weeks later. So I had a year at home to actually write it. And it was a daunting process, but is out now. In fact, it only came out a few days ago, so just waiting to hopefully get some positive feedback for it.
Yeah, well, you will, because books like that, like you say, are so inspiring for other people. I mean, that's why you want to put them together, isn't it? You know, but as well as keeping your mind fit by writing, you know, you also keep your body physically fit by climbing mountains. I mean, couldn't you have found something just a little bit easier to do?
Yeah, it's a bit stupid, really. Like, gone from professional sportsman, no interest in mountains, to disabled, now just want to go and climb them.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the reason why. It's because it's difficult. And I actually got into it by chance. After about 9 months, I was still using a wheelchair, and I wanted to set myself a challenge to aim towards. For a number of reasons, because I was doing 8 hours of physio a day with no sort of goal in sight. Back when I was playing professional sport, you had a game to aim for or another season, but this was just open-ended, so it was hard to motivate yourself to get up and get in the gym. And so I wanted to set myself a challenge, but I also wanted to send a message to all the other people in hospital who'd been given a guarded or negative prognosis, and it happens quite regularly, that maybe there would be hope. Like, you can only recover within the scope of your injury, but if you don't believe you're going to recover, then you're not a lot of the time. So I just wanted to send a message, and I ended up picking Snowdon, which is the highest mountain in Wales.
Yeah.
Invited anyone who wants to come along, thinking my nan and a couple of dogs might turn up. And there were 70 people there that I didn't know to come and support, and we just had the most amazing weekend. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. But then I was hooked, so I just tried to go higher and higher. And actually, I felt it's helped me so much with my recovery, mentally, getting outside of my comfort zone, but also being in nature, being in the mountains, being with amazing people, going through their own challenges. They've actually set up a charity that does exactly that, to take people on the kind of recovery journey I went on, because I felt very lucky to have fallen into that and found that, and also to have the support network that I do. So now we try and offer it to other people.
Wow.
It's amazing. Listen, I love any stories like that because it means so much to other people, you know. Your next challenge is taking to incredible places. You're going to Japan, right? Paralympics. Looking forward to that?
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, this is a scary challenge, is recovering from a spinal cord injury, I think. Like, obviously it's been, the Paralympics has been blown up over the last 2 games, 2012, 2016. Yeah. And in Britain, we are the best. Like, in Rio, we finished top of the medal table, and we're really proud about it. And I've been hooked on it since before my accident. So to now have the opportunity to be a part of it in some way, obviously not competing, but broadcasting is just a massive privilege. I've always wanted to go to Tokyo as well, so that's exciting. And yeah, just can't wait to get out there, really.
But it's so great that you're still involved in sport, isn't it? You know.
Yeah, I feel, again, very lucky to still be involved, because that adrenaline rush you get from playing sport, playing professional sport, you lose that. There was a bit of a gap for me there, and it was hard to deal with. Yeah. But I tell you what, when you're doing, you guys will know, you're doing live TV and the red light comes on, you're like, oh, I'd rather be playing against Samoa again.
But it is that thing, man, as you said, you know, it's getting that adrenaline rush back, and you're definitely going to have it, because, I mean, we've been enjoying the Olympics so much, and the Paralympics this year is going to be absolutely fantastic. What event are you looking forward to the most?
Well, as I said, GB are good, so it's worth watching all of them because we're always in for a shout with a medal. But I'm covering team sports, and wheelchair rugby is particularly exciting. I mean,
brutal.
I had a crack at it when I was still in a wheelchair, and I was like, this is worse than actually playing the real thing. It's so aggressive. It's so full on. It's got the nickname Murder Ball. You know,
Yeah.
Crikey.
that says enough in itself. So, but I'm really excited to watch that. We're 4th in the world at the moment, but I think we're in for a shout at the medal. And there's just so many other cool sports, different sports, and obviously in each sport there's 12 categories of disability. It's exciting.
It's gonna be excellent. Hey, but look, I mean, Ed, is there anything else in your sights? I mean, you know, you're looking at climbing mountains. You know, you're going out to the Paralympics to go and present to the world. I mean, what's next?
So for me, my next personal challenge is to try and become... So I'm technically a walking quadriplegic. So if you've got 4 limbs affected, you're quadriplegic, 2 limbs para. You know, that's how it works. So I'd be the first quadriplegic to climb Mont Blanc. So I'm trying to do that in September with the help of a guy called Leo Holding, who's one of the best climbers in the world, British guy. And Berghaus are adapting loads of kit for me, which can hopefully then help other people who've got similar issues get back outdoors. So that's going to be, you know, that's out there for me in terms of a challenge. I don't know whether I'll get up there or not, but they're the best types of challenge, right? If you know you're going to do it.
So a small challenge then?
Just a small one, yeah. Just a small one. And then, you know, after that, trips with the charity, back into the rugby presenting. Who knows, you know? Like, I actually don't know what I'm going to be doing next year.
Yeah.
And that used to terrify me, right? When I was a rugby player, it was like, you know the end is coming, but you ignore it because you're like, you're going to have to go in the real world and get a proper job. But now, genuinely, like, I think I'm excited by not knowing what's around the corner, you know, and I've got to that point in my life where all these crazy, weird things are happening that I never would have predicted, and I'm just rolling with the punches and really enjoying it, to be honest, and just saying yes to everything. I suppose when you have to consider not being able to ever do anything again, you then realise you just got to do everything and give it all a go.
Yeah, amazing. Really inspiring.
Listen, man, thank you so much for coming on the show this morning. Great talking to you. Always inspirational.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Ed's book, Lucky, is out now.
All right, time for a quick break, but Ellie Taylor will be telling us about the joys of parenthood, which, according to her, won't be a very long chat.
And Shivi's in the kitchen, rustling up a chemo pow.
Yes.
See you in a bit. Weekend best.
Ellie Taylor and Ed Jackson are with us, and shortly we'll be heading into the kitchen for a lesson with our resident chef, Shivi. But first, it's time for our guests to confess their deepest, darkest secrets in our free Saturday therapy session, Get It Off Your Chest. Now, we like to think of the Weekend Best studio. It's a little bit of a safe haven for our guests to share an embarrassing moment, just to kind of, you know, cleanse your soul of shame, I guess.
Yeah, and after they've poured it out of their hearts, they can get it off their chest by throwing it into our Weekend Best chest, never to be mentioned again, and that's a promise. Right.
Ed, you are first. Now tell us about this.
Oh God, I've probably got a lot of embarrassing stories involving booze, to be honest. So that bottle of Prosecco, when I climbed Snowdon, which I mentioned, it was the first mountain I climbed after my accident, I got to the top, and it had been a year since I'd had a drink. Obviously, I'd been in hospital recovering. For some reason, all of my mates, as soon as you get to the top, there's hip flasks thrust at you, and someone had a bottle of Prosecco, and a couple of big swigs out of it, and I'd managed to stay on my feet the whole way to the top, given how unstable I was. It was a hell of an effort. But I turned around on something and realised, oh my God, I'm drunk. And I just went, fell flat on my face.
No!
Yeah, and then I had 9 miles to get, well, 3.5 miles, 9 miles in total to get back down, drunk.
No.
So that's the longest walk of shame you can ever do.
Yeah. But the good thing is, because I wobble around anyway, people can't tell if I'm drunk or if...
Yeah.
Honestly, I walk towards bars and pubs, and you get security from a way off going... Yeah, coming in. But then you get to them and they realise I've got a proper disability, and they're like...
Yeah.
What they don't know is half the time I am actually just really drunk.
So there it goes.
Just going in.
Do you know what? I might just keep that one for me.
Right,
just
put it in the box.
No, I'll just keep it. All right, fine.
All right,
what's
what
up
we got?
next? Ellie, we've got this.
Yes, so this was, I don't know if you've ever had a caesarean, guys, but it was when I was lying on the operation table about to, you know, meet my child for the first time, this momentous, exciting, nerve-wracking time, completely naked, and just as like the surgeon's about to make the incision, a little head pops over, one of the medical team, and says, "Oh, I very much enjoyed your Live at the Apollo set."
What?
And I didn't quite know what to do in that situation. And I think it was like the first and I hope the last time I will ever be recognised while being catheterised.
Yeah.
It was a strange moment, yeah. But I did say thanks very much.
Say.
I said, I'm on tour, I've got tickets, buy some, come along.
Yeah, because this story's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Exactly
Well, there
that.
we go. Here goes the baby.
There
We'll
he
carefully
goes.
place that one in there. Well, now, she is the comedian whose fans include Madonna and Jennifer Aniston. But Ellie Taylor didn't find having her first child a bundle of laughs. So she decided to write the parenting book that no one else has dared to, aptly titled My Child and Other Mistakes. Ellie, so nice to have you here. But first off, I'm very worried for when your child is old enough to read this book.
Me too, which is why people need to buy it so I can pay for the therapy she will need. No, do you know what? The title is a fun title, but when you actually read the book, it's really sort of a love letter to her and to the complicated world of parenting.
I mean, straight to the top, I mean, of the Sunday Times bestseller list.
Wow.
I mean, how was that? I mean, do you think that it's just because it has resonated so much with a lot of women?
Yeah, it really has. I always hoped as I wrote it, I basically wrote the book that I wish I could have read when I was trying to, thinking about having a kid, pregnant, with the newborn days. And, but yeah, the response has been, it's blown me away. I've just been sitting in the back of cars and in my bedroom just sobbing at the messages that women have sent me because the book, it's really funny. It should be because I'm a comedian, and if not, I'm doing something wrong. But it's also, I think, I don't shy away from the raw stuff. And it is the newborn period I found very difficult. And there's a lot about parenting where you sort of, I think you're kind of trying to come to grips with the fact that you really love or you like your child at the beginning, but then you really miss your old life, and you can hold both of those things in your head. And I think women reading that another woman has felt that way makes them feel less alone. And I've had women saying I felt like such a monster because I thought I'd made a mistake, but it sort of releases people's guilt, I think, knowing that they're not alone with it.
Yeah, because women don't want to share that, to be honest, do they?
No. It's so tricky because you're sold at the beginning. It's meant to be like the perfect, and we're so blessed, and we can't believe, they can't imagine a time without the baby here. Yeah. And really, you're thinking, I can absolutely remember a time when the baby wasn't here, and it was very nice. Yeah. And I slept a lot, and I went out for dinner, and it was, and you have to get used to that, and sort of make your peace with the fact that this is a whole new existence. And some of parenting is wonderful and absolutely magical and absolutely hands down the best thing I've ever done. But there are points where it sucks, big fat bum, and it's horrible and it's boring and it's unseen and it's unrewarded. And I think the interesting thing about the book, which I think is resonating with a lot of people, is that it is the sort of whole story of it all. And I just think it offers a bit of hope and company and sisterhood, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've written the book that you wish you would have had before you had your child, but now that obviously you've had your daughter, has she provided enough content for a second book? She's
doing well.
Yeah.
We need to have a sit down about her employment status. No, she's doing very well. She's very funny. I think toddlers just are. She's quite a show-off like me. We're at the playground the other day, and one of my friends' kids who's a bit older than her did a handstand, and she can't do that, but she was like saw an audience, and so she did a roly-poly just in the middle of the playground and just waited for applause.
That jacket screams show off.
Do you love it?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Very understated.
Yeah.
Understated.
That poor child. Can you tell he dresses her? It's like she's been rolled in a rainbow most of the time.
Love that. Hey, and look, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about your 20 times Emmy-nominated comedy that is on your CV now, Ted Lasso.
All down to me.
No, but mate, like, do you know
He
what?
doesn't stop going on.
The whole
about it.
cast,
He loves it.
the whole cast is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I, I said this, and I'll say it again. Being a football fan, I'm a massive football fan, right? So when I first heard that there's a new show out, it's all about football, you're gonna love it, I was like, I'm in. And then when I first started watching it, I realised that realistically what I'm doing is I'm falling in love with a really heartwarming, nice comedy.
You do have to kind of get your head out of the British cynicism and go, it's just really, it's really kind and lovely and warm. And I think it's just struck a chord because I think that's what we want at the moment after the couple of years we've all had. We want something sort of uplifting.
Yeah. And how is it working with the cast? Because you've got brilliant people around you.
Oh, it's amazing and terrifying because everyone's so annoyingly talented. But like Hannah's just an absolute absolute. She's one of the best people I've ever met in my life. Who plays Rekha? She's sensational, yeah, I mean, obviously working with Jason is amazing. It's such an exciting thing to be a part of. I feel so lucky that I get to be a little bit in it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look,
Are you going back to AFC?
yeah, because I was going to say, because it's already been
Renewed for
already
season
been renewed
three.
for season 3.
Yeah.
So I mean, AFC Richmond's got to see you again, surely.
Fingers. I hope so. I would really like that. Sassy's a really fun role to have. So
Yeah.
fingers crossed. Yeah.
Very good.
And you're going back on the road again?
Yeah, back on tour.
Yeah.
Back on tour after nearly 2 years off stage to finally go out and like finish the tour that's been postponed about 3,000 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so hot. I know. It's one of those things. It's like, especially for comedians as well, because it's just like we've heard so many people doing those lockdown gigs, you know, on Zoom and things like that. I mean, how have you found preparing for them?
Well, I haven't really prepared properly for the tour yet. No, I haven't done it. Honestly, I haven't done the show for about 2 years. The show's about having a newborn child. My child is basically old enough to blooming do the show herself now.
Yeah.
So I've got to try and remember the show. So I'm going to have to properly sit down, listen to it and learn it because it's been so long since I've done it. And probably update it. It's probably got loads of references that aren't, probably about Trump. Like, oh no, what? I'm going to change it.
I mean, look, even if you're short of content on stage, you could always go back to the game that you brought around during lockdown. I mean, we quite enjoyed this. Now, just talk to me about this image. Explain this image.
Well, this was when everyone was doing Zoom quizzes and everyone had to think of a round for the quiz, right? And it got to about half an hour before the quiz started. I hadn't planned anything, so I thought, I'll improvise. I'll do a thing where I eat different snacks into the microphone and my friends have to work out what snack it is. I thought it was a great idea. They hated it and will never let me live it down. But I honestly think it's a really good idea.
I love it.
Thank you.
I think
you
it
guys.
is quite a good idea. I think we should give it a go of what Ellie eating. And next to you, you have some snacks. So Ellie, you're gonna chew on some snacks. We don't know what they are.
Okay, first up.
We'll give it a go.
We'll go with this one.
Okay. Okay, the second, I'm definitely gonna go for.
Do we need to give a flavour?
Oh,
Extra points.
you can smell it from there.
That is a crisp, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is a crisp.
It is a crisp.
It's a crisp.
Okay, yeah, but there's a certain type of crisp there. Can you give me one more?
Oh, it's a big one.
Oh, okay. I'd say this isn't this. We're not talking about a condensed crisp. It's not like a hula hoop type thing. I think this is more like a ridged, like a
Oh, those crisps with the ridges.
yeah,
in it.
like almost like a McCoy's.
The extra crunchy.
Extra crunch.
Guys, you're overthinking it. It's just a basic crisp.
Ah!
I love the extra effort that you painted a picture. It was beautiful.
Oh.
Well, another
Flavour?
go. We got another go.
Oh, flavour. Ready salted?
Prawn cocktail, mate.
Ooh.
Prawn cocktail. All right, let's go one more.
Another one.
That's a short little thing.
I'll do it again.
Oh.
What is that?
I mean, if you are watching the TV right now, you are watching blindfolding, working out what
It's award-winning. It's award-winning TV.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
that?
The BAFTA's on its way.
It's a short little bite.
What is it? A
Finishes
knick-knack?
quickly, doesn't it?
No, it's bright. It's a different kind of snack.
A knick-knack? A twiglet?
No, get away from crisps. Away
Okay.
from crisps. Out of your head.
Nuts?
No, nuts. Are you mad?
Popcorn.
Yes!
Ah!
Done!
It's a short little thing.
It was.
It's obvious once you hear it.
Once you know, when you know the answer, it was delicious.
Thank you so much for coming on today.
Yeah, that was
really
great.
love that. I love that game. It's made me hungry now. And My Child and Other Mistakes is available now.
Yeah, and I'm sure somewhere out there an ITV2 show is being written up for Ellie. What is she eating? After the break, we're heading to the kitchen to join our in-house chef, Shivi, who's making a mouth-watering keema pow.
Yeah, see you in a few minutes.
Welcome back to Martin Roman's Weekend Best.
Yeah, we've moved into the kitchen with our resident chef, the wonderful Shivi Ramoutar. Lovely to see you, Shiv.
Always nice to be here.
We got the summer memo.
We have.
I know.
The storm cloud in the corner there.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Shiv, forget that. What are we making today?
So, we are going to the streets of Mumbai today, Ro, with my simple, aromatic, quick version of a keema lamb pao.
Ooh, Shivi's quick keema lamb pow. Now, what is a keema lamb pow?
Yeah.
So, all right, so let's walk it through quickly. Keema is essentially a curried lamb mince, which we're going to get to. The pow is a gently toasted, heavily buttered roll.
Love that.
That's
Right.
it. So it all comes together to form this, for want of a better comparison, a gorgeous, juicy Indian spice burger. That's essentially what we're making today.
Oh, my God. Wow. OK.
So I'm just going to start, Ro, with popping in 2 tablespoons of butter into our hot pan,
OK.
and it will start to sizzle. Oh, glorious sound already. Now,
Love that.
Loved it.
next step, onions. So we've got 1 onion here. Now, you know me, I love a shortcut. I love doing things quick and on the cheap.
Yeah.
There's one thing with Indian food that needs time taken over, and it is browning the onions. You want it to a point where it's almost going to burn, but you don't want to burn it.
OK.
What,
So
do they go crispy or are they still soft?
they can be crispy, they can be soft, but you need them to be golden brown
Right.
because that adds flavour and aromatics to this dish. So let's pop that in. Give it a good pinch of seasoning as well. And this is going to require a lot of love and maybe about 10 to 15 minutes. So give that a good stir.
Go. 10 to 15 minutes just stirring the...
Not constantly, just a little bit, because you want to encourage the sugars to release with the caramelisation. And then we're going to go in with our ginger and our garlic. But because this requires so much love and attention, I reckon we're going to need, already at this stage, we're going to need a bit of TV magic.
Ooh,
second.
all right. You take over.
TV magic. Oh,
that.
wonderful.
Oh,
Look
thank
at
you very
that.
much.
Look at that.
Can you smell that? If you just waft it into your dad's face,
I
you
can
can just...
smell it, I can see it. Looks amazing. Yeah.
Gorgeous, right? And that is the start of a beautifully layered curry, which is essentially what we're doing.
Is it wrong that I now just want to make onion bhajis?
Yeah.
It's not at all wrong, but don't do it with these onions. Go and brown another lot, Ro.
Okay,
Gonna make
okay.
our food better.
All right.
Next, a very key ingredient to Indian food, ginger. So I've got about a thumb-sized piece of ginger here. Do you know how to peel your ginger?
No idea, but I feel like you're about to give me a hack.
Yes, here's
Okay.
a good hack. Spoon. All you're going to do is peel the skin off just like that. What is so great about this is it means you're not actually wasting any of the root, right? It is just the skin coming off. And I'll let you into another secret. When you buy ginger at the supermarket, you normally get a whole bag full, right?
Yeah.
And do you often at the end of the week find wrinkly ginger all over the kitchen?
Yeah,
Yeah?
you do.
So-
You know what? I've got my own hack with
So
ginger.
give me a hack, Ro.
Yeah, it's called pre-chopped.
Do you know
At
what?
the supermarket, it's pretty good.
You can do that as well, but I'll tell you what, it's slightly cheaper buying root ginger. I think it's more pungent, and all you need to do is grate the whole lot and pop it into your freezer, into ice cube trays. So when you want to cook curries in the future, you just go to your freezer, bung out an ice cube, throw it in from frozen, done.
That's a really
No
good
waste.
idea.
Very good.
All right, so let's get grating. There's no fine chopping here. We get our best friend, the grater, and really go for it. This is a good one to flex your muscles.
I love that ginger hack. I'll tell you why, because I do a lot of juicing with carrots and ginger, and you can use it for that, couldn't you?
Absolutely. Ginger can be used for so many other things, not just Indian curries. It can be used in your juices.
Yeah.
I love it, actually, just with a bit of water and lemon.
Oh,
morning.
wonderful, yeah.
Oh, gosh, I'm exhausted. Requires a bit of a...
Oh, my
Is
word,
this a competition? My
Just saying, yeah.
biceps are killing me now. Don't need to work out later.
Feels like an Olympic event in itself.
I think you've worn the grater out, Ray.
Oh, hang on.
You go in there, Ro.
Mine's turned into a paste. Thank you. Thanks.
It feels longer than it actually is, the time we're taking to do this. All right,
We've got enough of that.
all right, yeah. So,
Why couldn't you do your stupid TV magic on this?
all right, it's totally worth it. I mean, it's
I
simple.
prefer to spend 15 minutes on the onions.
Okay, I think that's enough ginger there. So, yeah, if you've got a food processor, bung it in that. But actually, you made it look like a lot more hard work than it really is, Ro. Okay, ginger goes in. Also going to that pan is your garlic. So I've got 3 cloves of garlic. Thankfully for you, Ro, it's grated already.
Thank
So
God
in that
for that.
goes. And all I'm going to do now is give that a good stir. Now, you're going to get a lovely hit of those 3 elements coming together beautifully there. It smells so good. I wish
Put
this...
garlic in it now.
I wish there was smell-o-vision, right? Because this is just smelling insane. And to this, I'm also going to add, very key for any curry, are the spices. So today, the spices we're using, I've got 1 tablespoon of ground cumin, 1 tablespoon of garam masala. So that's a lot of sweet spices that make the keema pao so recognisable.
Okay.
And I've also got 1 teaspoon of chili powder. So all of that's going to go in. When you're making any food that uses spices, it's really important to cook it out. Don't put it in a sauce already. Put it in a dry or, you know, a pan with oil or butter so you get rid of the chalkiness. So you cook it out a little bit. Really important step there. Give that a stir. Oh, man, that is... Oh, wonderful. Now, with all that hard work, we're rewarded with a Weekend Best very, very well-known shortcut. Ketchup.
Ketchup.
So,
Ketchup.
Here you go.
I know. All right,
Something
so,
I know. Forget all your garam masala. Get a bottle of that ketchup out.
So I've got to say, this is not authentic, but do you know what I love about ketchup? And I've harped on about this so many times. It does the job of 3 ingredients in one. You've got acidity, you've got sugar, and you've got a hit of tomato concentrate all going in there with just 1 ingredient. So don't be a kitchen snob. Get your ketchup out.
All right, here's something.
So much going in there.
I've got a big question, Shiv, and I will judge you on this.
I'm nervous. Go on, go on.
Where do you store your ketchup?
Oh,
In the cupboard.
I actually put mine in the fridge now because it's quite hot. Why?
No, I'm just wondering.
All right, where do you store yours?
Yeah, it goes in the fridge. People that open a bottle of ketchup and then put it in the cupboard,
Yeah, I don't do that.
not good people.
Are they not?
No, don't trust them.
Wait a minute, I'm going to differ here, right? Because I will put my ketchup in the fridge once it's open, but I will store it in the cupboard.
That's it. That's the way.
All right, you had to be middle of the road there, didn't you?
Oh,
Like a
no, I'm just
politician
saying.
with ketchup. How much lamb meat is going
So
in?
that is a pack of lamb, 500 grams of lamb, and that's going straight in there. On the high heat, we're going to brown that. Now, by the way, this curry we're making is going to feed 6 people.
6.
It is going to feed the masses, well, 6 people. So brown that lamb. Just keep stirring it all around. You want that to get really good colour because, again, colour is flavour. Colour is always flavour in these meals. So just give that a lovely stir. And that is smelling amazing, right? Oh.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to also add a bit of seasoning. A big hit of salt, a big hit of pepper. Give that a good stir. You really want to get good colour on that.
Look at yours.
Smelling good. Go on, smell that. How good is that? Delicious, right?
Oh, just delicious.
So this, can you imagine being in the streets of Mumbai? So this is a really typical street food.
Oh, wow.
And it is just so good. So that's browned. The last thing we're going to add to this dish, the last ingredient, is our stock. So I've got 100 mils of stock here, and I've made this with half a stock cube. No need to go fancy, just tear off half a stock cube. It can be vegetable stock, chicken stock, even beef stock is fine. Bung that in. Oh, I am salivating so much here.
Yeah, it smells amazing.
Let's bring that heat right down. So the stock's in, we've got the heat down to really low, to a low simmer. We've seasoned it. And this is going to take about 15 minutes until that lamb is fully cooked. Okay. And don't expect a gravy. It's not going to be a saucy curry. It's going to be quite a rich, thick meat rather than a sauce.
Lovely.
So that's what's going to happen. And then you're going to end up with something that looks like this. Give that a good stir. Look at that. That is rich and melting and aromatic, and it's so good. And the final flourish, I've got 100 grams of peas. These were frozen and left on the counter to defrost for about 10 minutes beforehand, and that's going to go straight in. So it's not only about adding extra sweetness to this curry, it's also about vibrancy, because you get those little pops of garden green, and it's to give that little stir. Now that is gorgeous, and would you believe, authentic. The peas in the keema pao are authentic. I'm just going to set these elements aside, and we're going to bring the pao element now.
Okay.
So just leave that to heat.
Hit me with the pow.
So the peas are something if you bought keema pao in Indian market, you would get them in.
You'd get the peas in there as well. And actually, do you know what? Sometimes I've done this dish where I've added diced carrots, grated mushroom. You can actually pack in a lot of veg in this.
Yeah.
And it's great if you're trying to hide veg for kids or whatnot.
Or for me.
Or for Ro. But I'm being kind to Ro today. He only wants peas. He's only getting peas. And another thing about the keema is you can freeze this beautifully. As you can imagine, curries just are made for freezing, right? Because it adds flavour as you go along. Yeah. So Ro, just grab your little garnishes for me. Mm-hmm. So I've got here red onions. We're just going to slice the lime, give it a squeeze. And then look how I slice it, Ro. Wait. Just a third like that.
Why just the third?
So then you get that, so you can squeeze it. Have you not seen the presentation plus points here, Ro? Look at that.
Oh, I like it.
Have you seen that in a restaurant and wanted to replicate it? Now you know how. 1 green chilli, just going to give that a thin chop. As I said, this is absolutely extra. You can use mango chutney as a garnish. You can use raita as a garnish. You know, I love to make food extra pretty. All right, so I'm going to take my bowl and I'm just going to serve this keema up. I've mentioned that the buns here, I've used brioche because I've got kind of a little love affair with brioche.
Oh, brioche
White
buns are the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are a bit extra.
Have you tried these chilies, by the way?
No, I'm not
They're
going.
non-hot ones.
I'm not going.
No, they're non-hot
No,
ones.
I'm not going to.
They're non-hot.
Just put them in your dish. I'm not
No,
going to.
look, they're non-hot ones. Look, I'll try one. Watch. So that's my one. No, try that. They're non-hot. Non-hot,
Oh,
see?
you rat bag.
Yeah, great. Yeah, cheers. Oh, it's the wrong one. Oh, that's the wrong one.
You
Sorry.
rat bag.
You meanie,
Sorry,
Ro,
I gave-
you're a meanie.
I gave him the wrong one.
You're a meanie. Okay, so I've used the brioche. Don't drink water, it's the worst thing. You need milk or you need a yogurt.
Yeah, I've got to put the yogurt in there. So.
You put the yogurt. So you don't have to use brioche, you can just use soft baps as well, soft rolls. So now we're going to just pile on lots of gorgeous flavours and colours to this. Coriander, our chilli. We've got some red onions here. Oh my goodness me. This looks great. And actually, this element of adding these extras are quite authentic. And look at that. We're going to pop that on like that. I'm going to also add the lime here. So you can squeeze that into the keema pao.
Shiv, my tongue's got to be
Yeah.
Somebody bring Martin some yogurt.
Yeah. Funnily enough, you're making more sense than you normally do.
Wow.
It's good, right? But it's good for your metabolism. It's good for your insides.
See that? It's
sugars.
good for you.
It's really good
Hope
for you.
so.
Can I tell you price point? This is quite a lovely one. Even with the fancy brioche, one portion per person costs £1.13.
Wow.
Great, huh?
Hey.
It's such a good dish.
That really is.
How you doing, Ro?
I'm just getting my little presentation going.
And it looks beautiful.
Where'd I put me little lime?
Yeah, I put it on the board here. You can put it on the side there. And there you have it. My quick keema pao. Indian street food perfection.
Oh, what? Now, this looks amazing.
How
Now,
you eat it.
service-wise, how do we do this?
So pile that meat into that bun.
So here we go.
And it is important that those buns are really buttery, and they have been heavily buttered. Give it a little toast, heavily butter. I'm jealous.
Right. I'm going to go with a little bit of that onion in there.
It's almost like, what do they call it in America? Like a sloppy
Sloppy
Joe?
Joe, exactly. A loose meat sandwich, which isn't as nice to say, frankly. But a sloppy Joe.
Oh, God.
That is absolutely delicious. I can't
Yeah.
begin to tell you.
So nice.
For all the details on how to make Shivi's quick
With your mouth
keema
open.
pao, head over to itv.com food now.
Yeah. If you didn't understand that, itv.com/food. Looking forward to seeing you here next week.
Can't wait.
My dad will be cooking. Shiv, thank you so much. So nice.
Yeah, time for a break, but don't go anywhere because we are going to be meeting our weekend best VIP.
Plus, we've got some top TV and film recommendations coming your way. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Welcome back to Martin Roman's Weekend Best.
We've got Ellie Taylor and Ed Jackson keeping us company all morning.
Yes, Ed, I mean, you just absolutely devoured half of that burger already.
Absolutely banging.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
You can carry on, don't worry, because if you're looking for some fantastic TV or film recommendations, then look no further, because here is our best picks.
Oh, my pick this week is the action comedy film Free Guy. It stars Ryan Reynolds as a bank worker who discovers he is actually a character in a video game. Now, alongside the brilliant Jodie Comer. The film is already being hailed as one of the big hits of the summer. Let's take a look at this.
Everybody down on the ground. Everybody except you.
Me?
It's just a...
Please, I have a cold fist.
There's something inside you, Guy.
I want something inside me.
I expected you to just follow the rules, but you are so much more than that. Put these on.
Okay, fine. I do. Oh my God! What are these, trick glasses or something?
There is no easy way to say this. This world, it's a video game. You're not real. Please stop my... And the guy responsible for this world is going to destroy it.
You've met God?
Yes, he's an absolute troll.
Trolls exist.
Oh, looks amazing. A Free Guy is in cinemas right now.
Now, Ed, I understand you have a pick with us. Something that you've been watching on Disney Plus, is that correct?
Yeah, and it's quite out of sorts for me. I'm not a big Marvel superhero fan, but someone recommended Loki.
Yeah.
Gave it a shot. It's absolutely brilliant. I was hooked. 6
Yeah.
episodes. Every episode is like watching a big Hollywood blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
And the acting is superb. Load of really dry comedy in there, subtle bits. So I loved it.
It's crazy. So it's Tom Hiddleston as Loki from the Thor kind of series and the Thor world and stuff like that. Have you seen it, Ellie?
Yeah, I've seen bits of it. Yeah, I quite liked it actually.
Yeah, it's very, very good. It's got I think broke loads of streaming records. Let's take a look.
It is adorable that you think you could possibly manipulate me. I'm 10 steps ahead of you. You're not big on trust, are you? You can trust me. Loki, I've studied almost every moment of your entire life. You've literally stabbed people in the back like 50 times.
Oh, that looks amazing. People have been going crazy about this.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see that.
Great stuff. Some brilliant recommendations in there.
Yeah, time now to meet another Weekend Best VIP. That is very interesting person.
And it's no surprise that the past year has been pretty tough for musicians. So when Irish multi-instrumentalist Dan Murphy found himself out of action because of all his live shows and tour dates getting cancelled, he took to his kitchen with his phone and a harmonica, and the results made him a viral sensation. Please welcome to Weekend Best, Dan Murphy, everyone. Now, Dan, I guess before we go any further, I want to show everyone, if they don't know already, why exactly you went viral. Take a look.
Absolutely brilliant. I mean, did you expect so much attention when you videoed that? Because it's been on the US news and everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a strange one. I love playing harmonica. I think it's a beautiful, versatile, dynamic little instrument. So I'm chuffed that that this video connected and that people are enjoying it.
I mean, how do you even discover that you can kind of do it? I mean, I'm presuming that you could beatbox before, and then you just thought, what, I could just mix that in with the harmonica.
Having a global pandemic on your hands and a lot of time to kill definitely helped. But I mean, I don't really class myself as a beatboxer. I'd be a harmonica player first, and then I just kind of started adding sort of hip hop groove sounds into it, and one thing led to another. And
it does make it sound so good, but I mean, it's not just the harmonica that you mastered, was it?
I'm in an Irish band called Hermitage Green, and I sing with Hermitage Green, and I also play guitar and piano and didgeridoo and some slide guitar and banjo too.
I love that.
Dan,
Didgeridoo.
Yeah, Dan, do you want to play something for us?
Yeah.
I'm dying to see it.
The didgeridoo probably won't fit on the screen, but I play some harmonica.
Yeah, definitely.
Harmonica, that's what, just fascinating. I want to see you do it live.
All right, let's have a little jam.
Whoa!
Oh my God!
That was so good.
Oh man, I mean, look, we might regret this, but have you got any tips for some potentially beginner beatboxer harmonica players? Maybe like 4 of them.
Yeah, man. Okay.
So where do we start?
Get into the box.
Yeah,
Ed can't get into the box.
How do you open the box?
Oh, I got it.
So where do we start?
There's 2 noises with the beatboxing. You got your kick drum. That's like a B sound. And then you got your snare, which is where you breathe in. You want to go. And then you add a harmonica.
I'm just spitting.
I feel like I'm spitting on it. It's annoyingly hard. And do you know the worst thing is that Ed finds anything that's annoyingly hard really makes him want to do it. So I'm presuming you're going to climb a mountain whilst beatboxing and our harmonica playing.
And he'll write a book about it next year.
Yeah, exactly.
I presume eat some crisps up there as well.
Yeah, exactly. Dan, thank you so much, mate. It's fantastic. And both my dad and I, we love your videos. So thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Amazing. Let's hear it for Dan Murphy, everyone.
That's your lot for today. If you fancy watching us all over again or you missed any of the show, catch up now on the ITV Hub.
So much. Let's hear it for our guest, Ellie Taylor.
Jackson.
Yes, and of course, Shivi.
We're back tomorrow with John Coleshaw, comedian Ivo Graham and Harry Redknapp. See you tomorrow.